with life and athletic skills.
So we teach God's Word at everything we do to implant it in them so that they understand that the only way to get through the world is with God on their side.
First Shot founder and executive director Andy Herzer.
Our focus is on our inner city here at Patterson Park.
From academics to athletics, First Shot's focus is toward building a stronger, more courageous spirit to face opportunities and obstacles that our youth confront every day. To find out more about First Shot, go to firstshottn.org.
We're visiting with Jennifer Sanchez, manager of Steered Straight 2 Furniture and Thrift at 1007 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard.
You're not just walking into just a big warehouse. You're walking into rooms. We've got a media room, we've got a boutique room, we've got a vintage room, a furniture area, kitchen, all that.
Steered Straight 2 Furniture and Thrift.
Every day.
5 years. Murfreesboro Medical Clinic has been a cornerstone of health and compassion in our community. From our humble beginnings to the advanced, comprehensive care we offer today, our commitment to you has never wavered. With 8 locations across Murfreesboro and Middle Tennessee and over 100 physicians, we continue to provide the highest standard of care. Then, now, and always, your health is our mission.
We're the Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, audio and video streaming at wgnsradio.com. This is the Roundtable, a look at the news, views, politics, and people that are shaping Rutherford County.
And good morning and welcome to Tuesday Mornings with Rick and Wayne, and we're all pleased to have you. And Brother Rick is on his way, so I expect to see his smiling face here any moment. Our program comes to you every Tuesday morning with a focus on the northern end of the county of Smyrna and Laverne. And, you know, from time to time we'll have programs that affects the entire county community, and it's a little bit warm out there, but it's our guest today is kind of preceding into the football season, which I can just about smell with this heat and humidity. And again, Brother Rick will be here at any moment, but this morning, and I have been looking so forward to this guest since our invitation, just because I always considered him the voice of the Blue Raiders, being the public address announcer for so many years, even during my playing days, and of course as a spectator and getting to listen to Brother Larry Talbert, retired successful attorney, but again, in my heart, the voice of the Blue Raiders. And good morning, Brother Larry. Glad to have you.
Well, thank you so much. You're more than kind, Wayne. And I was never the voice of the Blue Raiders. That was Monty and Dickie, and certainly now Chip. They did all the games. I only did half of them.
Well, I know, but your voice was so distinctive. You know, so many of the stadiums that I go to in today's era, the PA announcer is yelling, or just the voice inflection is just different. But you had such a distinctive tone and delivery that you didn't have to do any of the antics that so many of the PA announcers do today.
Well, that's certainly the trend. I can remember. I'm sorry, I can't say the man's name. He was the PA announcer for the New York Yankees for decades.
Okay.
And he was just straight down the line. Didn't do any of the hocus pocus, hooping and hollering.
Sure.
And finally retired. Maybe he died before he formally retired. And Derek Jeter had him record his walk-up introduction, and he used that same introduction for the rest of his career, even though the man himself had gone on.
Oh, wow. That is so way cool. That is pretty impressive. So why don't you share a little about your personal history here in Murfreesboro and the county community with our audience?
Well, real quick, I'm a Murfreesboro boy. There's not so many of us left like there used to be. I'm sitting within a 5-mile radius of where I was born and where I grew up and where I worked for a lifetime and where I live yet, except for 3 years when I was away in law school, I guess. So in high school, Murfreesboro was a little less than 30,000 people, and today it's somewhere north of 150.
I think so. I think Rutherford County itself, I think, is maybe close to 380.
Yes, it's just unbelievable. It's I'm like all the old folks. I kind of wish it could be back like it used to be, but the growth was a wonderful thing for, by and large. Most communities would love to have the city and Rutherford County's problems, and it was good for my business, and I think good for just about everybody's business, and it will always be a challenge to control it and shape it, but they'll get it done.
I apologize that I should have made the audience aware that you did have some company with you this morning, that your lovely wife Martha is here making sure that we don't do anything silly.
She's the monitor, the boss.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, like I said, I think the Talberts had a grocery store, and you grew up and went to school here. And
yeah, the grocery store and the family. We lived on Greenland Drive, directly across from campus. And I worked in the grocery store for a little bit. And I can remember working at the grocery store on Saturday afternoons, and it was just a cow pasture where the Greenland Drive parking lot is now. And I could see in the distance, Horace Jones Field was where it is yet today, and I could see in the distance the movement on the field because the south end zone was wide open, and I could see them running around over there. And I went to the campus school, and the kids I was in school with, I was an exception. I didn't really have a direct family member that was with the university, as were most of the class. And many of my classmates, buildings on campus yet today are named for their parents. Voorhees and Wyndham and Weiser and on it goes. And I can remember, early teen years, I would go over football days and show up at the concession stand and say, well, I'd like to sell Cokes in the stands. Well, here's your bucket full of ice that'll leak out and wet your pants, and $10 in change, and I sold Cokes in the stands as just a little kid, and had a good old time doing it.
Are you kind of amazed that we're selling beer?
Well, it's I can remember when our first package store
yes, sir.
Things came, and I was working at the radio station here, and George W. DeHoff.
Yes, sir.
I went to school with one of his sons, Paul, and Dr. DeHoff was debating this guy that was for package stores, and Dr. DeHoff was against it, and they were just right here where we're sitting. And this fellow was a little bit getting the best of Mr. DeHoff, and he finally shakes those big jowls, and he says, well, figures don't lie, but liars do figure.
Put a little dagger in his heart, I guess.
Yes.
So, as far as your parents, siblings, well, little bit of history there.
I have one younger brother, just a wee bit younger than I. He's retired now. He worked a career as a horticulturist with the state of Tennessee, and for years his main responsibility was what they call the mall down there on Capitol Hill kind of thing. And he was on first name basis with the governor, and anytime the fountains quit working down there, his phone would ring and it'd be the governor. Bill, you got to get those fountains fixed. Daddy worked for the state of Tennessee. He was with what everybody called the Department of Unemployment, which was the Employment Security Department. Mother was a school teacher. She taught at Mitchell Nielsen and then took a little time off to have a family, and then finished her career up at McFadden.
So was her time off during your time at the campus school?
A little before then, she registered me to be an enrollee at the campus school when I was just an infant.
Oh, good, because of the waiting list?
The waiting list. There's always been a waiting list at the campus school. And my younger brother the same way. So I went to the campus school 1 through 8, and it was, at the time, there was only one class of each grade, and most of the teachers had been there for decades, and it was still in the old maid tradition of elementary school teachers.
You know, some of the freshman dorms, have some age on them in the old main. MTSU, I think, has done an outstanding job of renovating and keeping things modern, if you will.
Yes, my maternal grandfather died about 62, and his wife, my grandmother, they lived in Hohenwald, Tennessee. She moved to Murfreesboro, bought a little house directly across the street from, I guess, what's now Murphy Center, and renovated that little house and started keeping college boys. And I would get dropped off sometimes after school to be nominally under my grandmother's supervision, and me and my little hoodlum friends, Jeannie Ledoux, Dr. Ledoux's daughter, and her younger brother Paul, he may be retired by now, he was an anesthesiologist, we'd get on our little bicycles and we'd go play on campus, and we'd play hide and seek and do this and do that. So we had the best old time doing kid things on campus.
So you went to law school, so that is, you must be an avid reader with all the reading that's required with law school.
Yeah, there's a lot of reading, and Mother being a school teacher, she was always interested in making sure we were doing stuff like that, and I'm still yet an avid reader. I've got my iPad and Kindle, and you got 10 million free books, and I'm fighting World War II again as we speak, and it keeps up with how many books you've read, and I'm always shocked. It says I've already read like 30 books for this year.
Yes.
But it kind of motivates you, and it's easy to read with, they get your fonts just right and just barely touch it. The book's not heavy. I do enjoy reading.
And Brother Rick has arrived, so good to see you, Brother Rick.
I'm good. Brian's got me a tardy slip, so I'm here and present for school this morning.
You got plenty of heat and humidity to fight out there as well.
Well, I got some people working in my barn, and I left and went to work thinking I'm getting there early. I've got a lot going on, then I could come up here. Well, then Baker comes in, starts talking to me, and time just got away from me. And next thing I know, Derek's going, aren't you got to be at the radio? And this is at 8:55, so here I come. But I apologize.
I'm
thinking I'm going to get more work done, and I got behind.
Of course, Rick, being a police detective, he has a lot in common with you because he had to read a lot as well. So I'm a little surprised that Rick didn't go through. He would have made an amazing prosecutor.
Sure.
It's something I thought about, but you always see the big cases, and you know this. There's hundreds of smaller things that you have to deal with, and you may then have that one big thing. And when I was a detective, it was all big things. When I first started, I'd work from a stolen bicycle to, all of a sudden we'd have a homicide, and in 2001 we had a triple homicide. So it really intrigued me is that interview part. That's where I really loved, and that's what I miss about being in police work, is talking to people and that interview and getting inside their minds. Just like you read a book, you get those hooks that are in that book. I get that hook of that person and trying to get inside them and see how they tick and why they really thought, a lot of times the heat of passion, but sometimes there's people that really think out the things that they did or
premeditation.
Man, yes. And to get inside that.
I'm sure you knew Tom Jackson.
Very well. He's one of my best buddies, man. He's greatly missed, and
mighty fine man.
I hauled hay with him and been on his farm, and we worked the Captain D's murders together, and
I noticed
really got close.
The Tennessean's been running a series called Notorious Nashville.
Oh, yeah?
Mostly terrible things that have happened over the last 25 years or so, and I'd forgotten a lot of them. I'm sure that Captain D's will probably be in there. My biggest memory of a terrible, terrible thing in Murfreesboro, and I was very young in my legal career, was the Bruce Benford trial.
Give me a background on that.
Mr. Benford was his father, owned the Benford Ford dealership. Bruce was an adopted child, and he wound up murdering his father.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
It was a big deal and a terrible thing. I was same age as Bruce, went to high school with Bruce. He was not a very good person and was very entitled. I understand he ran through a new car every couple of weeks, just tore it up, drove one through the showroom glass, taken it one time.
Oh, no.
And he was convicted and sentenced to life, I guess, in prison. Wasn't there very long, and they thought he was a snitch, and he got killed in prison. And then they found out he really wasn't a snitch. So some irony.
Some people are just magnets, you know. They
So
really are.
what gave you a passion for I was going to say jurisprudence, but some of my buddies, I'll call it Judas prudence, to get them tore up.
Well, I'll tell you, I was a freshman in high school. Bobby Modrell taught freshman civics at Central High School. One of my very most favorite teachers ever. He did a great job. Made learning fun. Had map drills and stuff. And we put on a mock criminal trial. And I guess I was the prosecuting attorney. You know, we all playing roles. Jim Cope.
Yes, sir.
Everybody knows Jim.
Very
He
well.
was a senior. We were freshmen. He came in. He was the judge. And I had a great old time with it. And I thought, well, I kind of like this. And I sort of decided as a freshman in high school that of course, I thought I was going to be a trial lawyer like everybody does that's going to go to law school. But that law is what I would enjoy. I guess I was kind of right.
That's amazing.
So-
Jim Cope, he was I was on the commission for a while, and he was our county attorney, so
Right.
I really got to know him really well. But
So out of high school, straight into middle,
Yes.
political science.
Yes, Dr. Norman Parks, who was in the political science department, he insisted, I think we went to church together and knew him from there beforehand, and he just insisted that if you were going to go to law school, you had to be a political science major. Well, I was dumb as a rock. Sure, that sounds good to me, so I did. But then I get to law school that first couple of months, you know, you're talking to Rick, you talk to Wayne. Well, I was an art major, and I was something else major, and it was about 50-50. There was a goodly portion of political science. I would have probably majored in business because most lawyers in small towns are just small business owners.
Sure.
And I would have certainly probably minored in political science, but I would tell any potential lawyers out there, you don't have to major in political science to go to law school. You won't be at any disadvantage whatsoever.
So during your time at middle, frequented the football and basketball games, and of course in the old Memorial, that was quite the experience with the OVC rivals.
Oh yes, and of course that place only seats 2,500 or so, and
Probably.
we would jam pack it. I can remember before I got to college, what was it, Jim McDaniel with Western? They came in, and standing room only, and I was like sophomore in high school or something like that. It was, my eyes were big as saucers. I can remember, I can't wait to get to college and start having all this fun.
I got to go to a few of those games because my oldest sister was attending at the time, and the Western, the Tech, the Austin P, it was just like I said, bursting at the seams group, and just a frenzied fan base at that time.
And our basketball at that time, this is early 70s, and Murphy Center is getting ready to come online, I think, in 72.
Right, and I remember Willie Brown
Yes.
in the early 70s or maybe the late 60s. He was the point guard, just an amazing athlete.
We were getting good for the first time in a long, long time, and there was a lot of excitement that went with that. Ken Trickey had been our basketball coach for a long, long time, and now it's Jimmy Earle's time.
Right.
And here, that's a great story, a great run we had with Coach Earle.
Yep. And I think Coach Trickey went to Oral Roberts,
Yes,
maybe?
yes, he did.
I remember that being kind of some angst around the community, that felt like he deserted us in a way, I guess. But, Coach is going to go where the grass is greener, I'm sure.
I don't blame him. There's only two kinds of coaches, not so much here, but in the professional ranks, big-time sports, there's two kinds of coaches, them that's fired and them that's going to be fired.
I have never heard it put that way, but
that's an old chestnut.
So what MTSU back in the 70s, what were some of the schools, because I know the way they travel now, but what was mostly on the schedule as far as opponents that they play?
It was the OVC, Death Valley, Eastern Kentucky, Western Kentucky, Moorhead, Tennessee Tech. Who else was in there?
Did you say Austin Peay?
No, I missed.
The Murray. Are they racers or Pacers? I forget.
They were the racers. The Pacers were UT Martin.
Oh, that's right.
And then they changed their name several years ago, and I don't know why. I've forgotten what they are now. Yeah. But there were 4 Kentucky schools: Eastern, Western, Murray, Moorhead, and 4 Tennessee schools: P, Middle, Tech, and
was UT Martin in the conference? I can't remember. I know we played them both my freshman and sophomore year.
And Tennessee State was not a member at that time.
At that time.
You go up do the Eastern Kentucky Moorhead basketball run.
Oh, Tennessee. East Tennessee was.
Yes, for just a little while.
For a little while, yeah. So
they call that Death Valley. We never won many games up that way.
Just traveling then, it seems like it would have been hard. So I see that now that Ohio Valley Conference, and they'd be kind of somewhere here close, because
the only game other than going to like Ball State, where you'd fly to Indianapolis to get to Muncie, Richmond, Kentucky, where Eastern Kentucky, that's forever by bus. So you kind of had to take a small plane to there, but most of the other ones you just bus over.
I just look at the size of buses back then, and I know the size of you guys, when you played at Middle, it's just being cramped on that bus. There was that automatic advantage of the home team in more than one way of having the crowd and that busing to go up there. So
the travel team was 56. And of course, you had some wide receivers and some guys that were not quite as big. But the one that I remember the most is flying back from playing Ball State my sophomore year from Indianapolis, and it was at night, and we had to fly over Lexington to get to Nashville, and apparently with all that weight, we couldn't get high enough out of the thunderstorm. And you had all these tough football players, and we were a little bit anxious as that plane was rocking and rolling. Yeah.
Larry, would you travel a lot of times when they did the away games as well, or just this here?
I was just the home PA guy, so I that wasn't part of my job.
I'm sure you probably are like me and Rick, that we drive through the campus today, and just how it's grown and all the new buildings, and it's just amazing.
Yeah. What's the first year you started? I know we were talking about that earlier, but I know Wayne said he remembers you when he started playing there. So,
well, I had done some public speaking contests and stuff like that in high school. And so I got interested in radio, and WMOT FM campus station was brand new at the time. This is about 68, 69, and I saw some kind of little ad someplace that they were looking for, sort of, I guess you'd call them interns. So I went over there because you're working for free, and I got to reading the news for them. And I was prowling the halls. I was a senior in high school, I guess, and looked at one of the bulletin boards down the hall between newscasts, and somebody stuck up a little 3x5 card. John Hood had been doing the PA for a long, long time, and he was an assistant to the president and had gotten so busy on game days he really couldn't be in two places at the same time. They were looking for somebody. So I called our SID, Jim Freeman, and said, well, da-da-da. And he said, well, sure, come on. And so I was a freshman in the fall of 1970, my first year.
Wow.
What was the pay raise then? Free to what?
It was, I think I was making $25 a game, and they gave me 2 tickets.
No kidding.
And 52 years later, about the same.
We get paid about the same right now, so we're good there.
keep your day job.
Yes, sir. I agree. You're listening to Larry Talbert. We're going to go take our first break. He's a PA announcer for MTSU and a local attorney, but we're right back with you in just a minute.
For 75 years, Murfreesboro Medical Clinic has been a cornerstone of health and compassion in our community. From our humble beginnings to the advanced, comprehensive care we offer today, our commitment to you has never wavered. With 8 locations across Murfreesboro and Middle Tennessee and over 100 physicians, we continue to provide the highest standard of care. Then, now, and always, your health is our mission.
Insurance should be simple, not complicated. That's why at Rayburn Insurance, Agent Rick Hull cuts through the jargon and helps you understand your options clearly. He's committed to finding the right coverage that fits your unique needs and budget. Their team has been a trusted partner in the community since 1973. Ready to make insurance easy? Get with Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance Agency. He's ready to help you get the protection you deserve.
Good Neighbor Events is brought to you by Americare Pest Control, Old National Bank, and the law offices of John Day.
Get old. Old National Bank, that is. Old National Bank has the experience and service you need to buy a home, make investments, even online and mobile banking. Old National Bank is in the borough on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard.
Old National Bank at 2230 Dr. MLK Jr. Boulevard, which used to be Mercury Boulevard.
Visit us and enjoy warm, homemade cookies at Old National Bank.
Old National Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC.
WGNS encourages you to shop local. Let's patronize those local mom-and-pop businesses. Some great plays to enjoy this weekend. Leading Ladies at the Art Center of Cannon County. That's over in neighboring Woodbury. It's a story about 2 Shakespearean actors who are down on their luck, and they're offering Shakespeare nightly at the local Moose Lodge. That's Leading Ladies at the Art Center of Cannon County. And this is the final weekend for Leading Ladies over in Woodbury. Here in Murfreesboro, Freaky Friday continues at the Center for the Arts just off the square. Freaky Friday is the story of a mother and daughter who change bodies. That continues through July 27th. The Center for the Arts is at 110 West College Street in Uptown Murfreesboro. And they have a one-weekend run of Steel Magnolias, this weekend only, at the Springhouse Theater in Smyrna. That's the classic Steel Magnolias. This weekend only at the Springhouse Theater in Smyrna. Oh, don't forget to give blood at the Red Cross. Those are WGNS Good Neighbor events.
For 75 years, Murfreesboro Medical Clinic has been a cornerstone of health and compassion in our community. From our humble beginnings to the advanced, comprehensive care we offer today, our commitment to you has never wavered. With 8 locations across Murfreesboro and Middle Tennessee and over 100 physicians, we continue to provide the highest standard of care. Then, now, and always, your health is our mission.
Rutherford weather.
We'll see a few spotty showers and thunderstorms possible late this afternoon. A blend of clouds and sunshine develops, a high in the mid-90s. Tonight, partly cloudy and a low of 73. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on News Radio WGNS. Currently, it's 75.
Broadcasting from the Middle Tennessee Electric Studios. Take control of your account management and energy consumption with the MyMTE app. Download from the App Store and manage your account, improve your energy habits, and more. MTE, serving to make life better since 1936.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
And good morning and welcome back to the second segment of Tuesday Mornings with Rick and Wayne. And it's our pleasure and just having a great time with, he doesn't acknowledge it, but I refer to Mr. Larry Talbert as the voice of the Blue Raiders, retired attorney, retired public address announcer for the Blue Raiders. And of course, I remember him during my playing days and all the years of being a spectator. And gosh, just tickled to have you this morning, Mr. Talbot.
Thank you so much, Wayne. Thank you.
We do need to, I think we had got a question delivered to us that, did your mother ever teach at Las Casas?
Yes, this was before my birth, of course. She came here from Wayne County. She had gone to Freed-Hardeman. They only had a 2-year degree at the time, and she wanted to be a school teacher, so she came here to the normal school, as sometimes called, to get her degree. Finished in 45 and went right. Her first teaching job was out at Las Casas. She had come through like a one-room schoolhouse down in Wayne County, so she graduated college. She was about 18 years old. And some of the senior boys in 1945 out at Las Casas were about her age, which
Wow.
had to be challenging.
Sure.
And a lot of people remember Harris, Florida, with, I think, Middle Tennessee Electric for many, many years. He was a senior boy at the time, and every time I've seen Harris for the last 50 years, he'll run into me and says, Larry, says, your mama gave me the last whipping I had in school. I sassed her, and she whipped me, and I deserved it.
Talk about some, maybe some funny things or extraordinary things that happened either in your attorney history or your. I know you have to have a bunch of stories with having announced all those Blue Raider football games as well.
Well, we had some great ones. Basketball in the Tennessee Tech, we had that riot where we had a bunch of players suspended. Kerry Hammond, senior, was amongst them. He got suspended, 4 or 5 of them. I think we wound up forfeiting one game because we didn't have enough players to play.
Sure.
The joke was that for weeks after that, every time there was some sort of incident in the conference, in the Ohio Valley Conference, anywhere, Kerry Hammonds got suspended. and Tech had what they called the Tech Squares. Up there, I don't know why, their toilet paper wasn't in rolls. It came in little, like 6-inch squares, individual squares, Tech Squares. And they would smuggle those in by the foot-long stack at away games. They'd come here. And then the first bucket that Tech scored, they would throw those Tech Squares, and it was a blizzard. It was a whiteout.
Wow.
And that was kind of exciting. Of course, we knew what was coming, and they had all the janitorial staff with the mops. And that, of course, the game would be stopped and delayed till they could clear the floor. There's some pictures that show here the blizzard in full blizzard. That was kind of fun.
I remember a Western game where at Old Memorial where they brought in a coffin, a red coffin, and with the signs that, and of course it's just a spotlight with the pallbearers, carrying the casket, and of course the casket said, "Better dead than red."
Good line.
Wow. I like that. My wife and her parents, they were a military family, and they were shipping all over the country in Japan, but they did a stint in Kansas and become really big Kansas Jayhawks basketball fans. and the tradition of Kansas basketball, and they still to this day love it. And my brother-in-law has season tickets that he lives in Virginia, but he'll travel all the way to Kansas to take in those games. But they sit quiet until they score their first basket, and when they score it, they all go absolutely mad. But it's like deathly quiet in this big arena until they finally score that first basket, and it goes crazy.
What's that arena's name?
Fog,
help me.
Yeah. Fog Alley.
Lost in the fog.
Yeah, I haven't been. Now they've been. I unfortunately didn't get to go the last time they went, but I got a feeling I've got some stuff going on up there that this year we'll probably have to. I'll finally get the full money of, but just them being in the Final Four and everything, and going to my in-laws' house, and we're all in Kansas, including myself. Garb, when they're playing, they're all in on it. So
it's a big
Bill
deal.
Self, he's the god in the house and man on a pedestal. But that's a tradition of, like you said, you think of coaches, and coaches will fight to get those programs. I was so mad at. He's at Penn State now, but he was at Vandy football, and he's really Franklin. He was doing a really good job with Vanderbilt. Then he took that job at Penn State, and I was like, man, why would he go up north? But that lure of that Penn State program, and I always felt like when I went to MTSU, I felt like in O Valley Conference, I think we were pretty well respected, and then of course we've changed since then. But I felt like we were making a toho to be kind of a growing program, especially as many students we got there now.
Well, yeah, and I'll credit Boots Donnelly. He kind of separated us from the pack.
Sure.
Yes.
Football, we got to start playing those money games.
That's right.
That made the difference for us taking the step up when Eastern Kentucky, Moorhead, Tennessee Tech, on, they didn't make the jump.
You're right. Yeah, and still today, we benefit from that.
Thank you, Boots.
Exactly.
Probably what's the funniest thing that the funniest incident maybe, or whatever, what's the most memorable incident that you witnessed as the PA guy at a football game or a basketball game? Can you think of anything that you recollect?
Well, when I was working PA, somebody set the homecoming floats on fire that year. The winning homecoming floats had come and were parked. This is before the south end zone was closed in. They parked them there kind of where the jump pit was, behind the south end zone there, inside the track, between the back of the end zone and the track. The first, second, third, fourth homecoming floats. And about midway of the late in the first quarter, I look over there, and there's smoke coming out of one of them. And then there's fire coming out of them. And then they're all on fire. I mean, I can feel the heat setting in my seat. Yes. 75 yards away. They burn to the ground. And all that smoke and soot it doesn't get onto the field, doesn't burn, but all the smoke and soot stains the field. It was kind of scary and funny all at the same time.
This would have been the fall of '73, my sophomore year. We were playing Tennessee Tech. It's the last game of the season, home game, and we're decent team, not as good as the year before, but our cheerleaders and their cheerleaders get into a fist fight in the south end zone over the totem pole. Did you, being the PA announcer, did you even notice that?
I didn't even notice that. That's news to me.
Of course, I guess we called it Nakahoma, and they called it Harvey, or vice versa.
We called it the Shinny Ninny, and they called it Harvey.
I'm sorry. Okay.
And of course, that gets into the Bill Ketron story too.
Well, true. But the totem pole was damaged as they were fighting over it, and of course Coach Peck saw all of us watching the fracas in the end zone and started screaming and yelling at us to pay attention to the game, but the cheerleaders fighting was so entertaining.
Yeah, coaches are like that.
I apologize. I had forgotten the name. Shinny Ninny. That's right.
The most extraordinary personal experience, this wasn't my announcing, this was 1966, so I would have been 14 years old. I was at the football game. The year before at Austin P, Teddy Morris and the Raiders had done a incredible comeback and had beaten P up there. And well, there's a side story. Our Raider mascot there was a melee after the game, and he had pulled the sword out of his scabbard and taken a swipe at somebody.
Ooh.
And Quill Cope had been at the game. It was back in Murfreesboro. The phone rings. It's the Montgomery County Sheriff. Says, well, we've got your guy in the jail here. He's going to stay here unless you get up here and get him. And Dr. Cope.
Hold up, this is awesome. Where is this? Not in a book
everybody
somewhere?
knows
I had not heard this
The
story.
MTSU mascot gets arrested. This is awesome.
So Dr. Cope gets back in his car, drives back to Clarksville, meets with the sheriff, and they work out a deal that they're going to let our guy go on the condition that as soon as we get back to Murfreesboro, that sword will be welded inside the scabbard, never to be drawn ever again. And I understand that happened. Now it's the next year, 1966. Dickie Thomas is our quarterback.
Right.
P comes in, hard-fought game. I'm there, just a kid, 14 years old. They wind up winning. And all their people pour out of the stands and down to the south end zone and break down the field goal in the south end zone. And then there's just a mob of them, 200, 300, 400, 500. They're marching back up the field. They're going to get down the north field goal. And I'm standing there with all the fraternity and sorority kids and our fans. We've massed around the northern field goal and say, come on, come on. I can't wait to get to college to get to do all this stuff. And it's sort of tense. And I look over here, and here's one of the campus cops in his campus cop car. He comes speeding onto the field and sort of spins out at midfield and jumps out and says, stop. And got it stopped. But
wow.
It was,
Barney Fife took over right there.
He was the hero. Gosh knows what was going to happen.
And, of course, it was a grass turf field at that time.
Yes.
Yeah, he would have had some problems if he'd spun out on that brand-new AstroTurf.
Yeah, they wouldn't have liked that.
Yeah, which I also affectionately refer to as Scotch-Brite pad.
Yes.
We're going to have to do some investigating. I got to find a booking photo of the mascot at MTSU in 1965. That would be amazing.
And one of the very best books, Joe Nunley, goes way back, and we've lost even Joe Jr. now. He wrote a book many, many years ago called The Raider 40s and talked about MT just before the outbreak of the Second World War, and then during the war, and then the returning MT people that had been undergrads, had fought the war, had won the war, and had come back and were finishing up and talked about the faculty and the coaches and everything of the Raider 40s. It's a great book. Joe Nunley was a special guy.
That's awesome.
Talk about some of the iconic players that you remember. Greg Gregory, for me, we just had some Ray Odom, who went on to
the Mod Squad.
Yeah, the Mod Squad with they were just an amazing group.
Yeah, Jim Freeman named them the Mod Squad.
Yeah. After I left the football team and went to work for the campus police, Jim Freeman and Jim Simpson, Jim was the ticket over the ticket program. We used to hassle them quite a bit because they were so much fun to pester.
Oh, Freeman was, you'd meet him and he could tell you 5 new jokes that you'd never heard in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, rest his soul. He was fun to be around.
Oh, he was something. He was special, really special.
That's awesome. Hey, we're going to take our second break here. Listen to Larry Talbert with the PA announcer for MTSU and local attorney, but we'll be right back with you in just a minute.
For 75 years, Murfreesboro Medical Clinic has been a cornerstone of health and compassion in our community. From our humble beginnings to the advanced, comprehensive care we offer today, our commitment to you has never wavered. With 8 locations across Murfreesboro and Middle Tennessee and over 100 physicians, we continue to provide the highest standard of care. Then, now, and always, your health is our mission.
Turn to Turner Security.
Hey, it's Brian, and we've relied on Turner Security for systems here at WGNS and Big GTV for many years. Their advanced security solutions with real-time monitoring and automation keep us safe. Plus, their expert IT service ensures our tech runs smoothly, from networks, computers to troubleshooting. Their team tailors solutions to our needs, and I highly recommend them for home or business solutions for you.
Turn to Turner Security.
This is Kim Dunaway from Sunshine Nutrition Center. You hear me on Monday mornings at 7:20 talking about how to lead a healthier lifestyle. We carry supplements, personal care, and grocery items at both our Murfreesboro and Smyrna locations, family owned and operated since 1989.
This is Chip Walters, and I'm honored to be your 2024 MTAR Realtor of the Year. I'm with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates, and like many of you, I've seen the real estate market shift and change. People often ask, Chip, what's really going on? Well, that's a great question, and I believe in answering with solid, factual data. So let's cut through some of the noise. I invite you to reach out. Let's have a conversation about your real estate goals and the current market trends in your neighborhood. You can find all my contact information at choosechip.net.
Premier 6 Theater on Broad in Jackson Heights.
Let's all go to the movies.
Check out what's showing at murfreesboromovies.com. Popcorn popped fresh daily.
Movies at the good old Premier's Inn.
Premier 6 on Broad in Jackson Heights.
Looking for great deals on name brand clothing, furniture, and more? Visit the Garden Patch Thrift Shop on Spring Street across from the tall downtown NHC building in Murfreesboro. Our competitive prices and quality selection make it easy to find exactly what you need. And here's the best part, 100% of your purchase supports Greenhouse Ministries, helping over 70 families a day. When you shop at the Garden Patch, you're not just getting a deal, you're making a difference. The Garden Patch Thrift Shop on Spring Street in Murfreesboro.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
And welcome back to the third and final segment of Tuesday Mornings with Rick and Wayne. And we've had such a great time with former Blue Raider public address announcer and retired local attorney Larry Talbert, and your voice is so distinctive, and you were amazing at what you did at Middle, and never had needed your services as a legal advisor or anything, but certainly remember you all those games, not only as a player but as a spectator.
Wayne, I was having fun, and I guess it showed.
Well, good. I guess so. Yeah. You were going to maybe tell some more stories.
Monty Hale and Bob Alexander's story. Of course, Monty, many years, and Bob was his statistician for basketball and football. They were a pair for many seasons, and this was about 72, 73. And it was homecoming at Western Kentucky. And Bob and Monty went up there, and for some reason I had some little job to do helping Monty, and Monty brought all the wives. Bernice Hale came, and my late wife, Sarah Jane, came, and and it was a fabulous game. Western put on a big show for homecoming. The Hilltoppers singing group performed at the halftime. They just killed us in the first half. We were down like 21-0. And then we get the second half going, and we start coming back. Johnny Blankenship is on this team. He's playing flanker.
Yep.
And we're still down 3 or 4 points, and this is the time's running out. This is going to be our last possession. And we start at the 20, and we start driving. And, it's second and long, and we convert. And now it's third and long, and we convert. And down we go. And one, maybe it's a fourth down play because we were outside of field goal range. It was a desperation pass. I'll see it in my head even now. Johnny Blankenship jumped on his head and made an impossible catch to sustain the drive.
Wow.
We wind up scoring at the very end, as time expires, are right there, to win the game.
Oh, wow.
They are stunned. The Western Kentucky coordinators are right next to us in the press box there. And there's just like a little portable partition with a glass insert that is movable.
Uh-huh.
And Bob turns around and he starts egging these guys. And of course, they're in distress. They think, don't do that, Bob. And one of them picks up a folding metal chair, and there's a concrete block wall in the back of the press box, and he throws it against the back of the press box. It sounds like a bomb has exploded. Bob got quieter after that. It was a golden day.
Oh, just enemy territory. And the OVC rivalries were so special. Even today, I hold my nose when I drive down 65 through Bowling Green.
Sure.
Which drives my children crazy.
Ask Coach Insel about Bowling Green.
Just anything else that you recall that we would find amusing?
Oh, there's so many. We're about to run out of time. It's good stuff. It's been a lifetime of stuff for me that's still going on. Looking forward to the season. It'll be we start with Austin Peay. Unfortunately, we're going to be out of town. Won't get to see that game, but we'll see all the rest of them.
Rick and I got to be part of the Blue Raider Bash. They combined it with our Smyrna Rotary Club a couple of Thursdays ago, Rick.
Yes, sir.
And Coach McDivitt and Coach Mason were there, and Coach Mason shared with us that there's 63 new faces on the football team this year. 30 of them are incoming freshmen. Is that correct, Rick? Mm-hmm. And I've had some fun with some of my former teammates, calling them up and saying, "Hey, guess how many new football players are going to be on the field this fall?" And most of them start out with 20 and then go 30, 40, and 50. When I say, no, 63, they're in shock. But I guess that's the nature of the beast today with NIL and portal.
Oh, yeah, it's a new day, but Coach Mason, we've got a bunch of good coaches, but I think Coach Mason has come in and kind of put a little heat on them with his enthusiasm.
Right. The thing that I've been also really impressed with him is that he has gotten out into the community.
That's what I'm talking about.
To press the flesh and, get people interested in Blue Raider football.
Go Blue.
Wayne has a knack. He does a pep talk every year at Rotary when we go into September, because we do the annual fish fry, and that Thursday before he gives us this pep talk, and he calls us all in the middle of the room, and it's like it's a football what he was raised on, and you want to hit somebody when it's over with, And
there you go.
Yeah, I was a baseball player, but I'm like, I want to hit somebody.
I don't know that
when
baseball.
We get done.
Hey, baseball players are some of the toughest ones I know.
But yeah, I kind of felt the same way at the Blue Raider Blitz, because I had won free tickets and I was like the first name, but I was wanting to go up there and tackle him. I mean, he had me fired up. I was like, let's hit somebody.
Well, I'll tell you what, Wayne, when we get ready for the very last thing here in just a minute.
Yes, sir.
I'll give you your introduction.
There you go. That's what we need.
You played it.
I'll let you know.
What was your weight?
I was 225 back in the.
And you were how tall?
5'11" plus.
We'll call you 6 foot.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's what I think.
You were the starting.
No, I was.
You're going to be starting.
He's a guard tackling in.
I was. Yard Dog, who was the guard in front of me, he was sick or injured for 3 games, and I did get to start 3 games my sophomore year.
Left,
right guard.
Right guard. I'll do it here in just a minute.
Well, I'll be frothing at the.
Get our phones going. I want to record it.
And that was on offense.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. We had way too many linebackers because that was my preferred position was linebacker. But
was there this is something I always wanted to ask, because I saw an interview on 30 and 30 on ESPN, and it was talking with some big announcer, and he was talking about ad-libbing, and he says, because they didn't have TV and they weren't covered a lot of times, so they would be a dull game, and they would have to ad-lib to make things sound like it's more important. They were like kicking a 30-yard field goal, but it's like they would say it was 62, and they missed by a yard. It was just left, and he said, it bounced at the 15-yard line. It never got close, but nobody knew.
Well, way back in the day, professional baseball, they weren't at the games. They were reading what's happened on the game off like the ticker tape.
Oh, wow.
And they were recreating the game just sitting in the studio. And they'd have some kind of little thing that they would, knock their pen. There's the hit. It's through the left side.
Piece of board and
no kidding.
Steel tap shoes.
I had no idea.
That's talent.
That is talent. Yeah. Well, that's part of it. I wish I knew who it was, but I don't know if he was from the New York or where he's from, but he was an announcer, and he just was crazy about what they did.
So tell me, professionally, baseball, who's your team?
The Cardinals.
Okay. Disappointed to hear that, but
that's the split of Middle Tennessee. You're either Cardinals or you're a Braves.
Yeah.
Jim Simpson and I were. It's not like it used to be, but we were huge baseball fans, and he was always more of a Braves guy. And we had a little group, Cliff Gillespie and a bunch of us. We would travel, and we went to several big league cities over a period of a few years, several years ago, and we went to Chicago, went to Pittsburgh, Atlanta, St. Louis. It was good times, and but I don't follow them like I used to.
Jeff Jordan's a Braves fan. Tim Tackett is a Cincinnati Reds fan.
My neighbor around the corner.
So we've got quite the diversity, I guess, with local personalities and their teams.
Yeah.
So.
Well, thank you for being with us.
Yeah,
all right.
God bless you.
You ready for the sign off?
I guess so.
Here we go. I got to back up from this, Michael. Here we go. For the Blue Raiders on offense, starting today at a right guard, a 225-pound, 6-foot senior from Smyrna, Tennessee, Wayne Blair.
Okay, you have made my year. So thank you, Brother Larry. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so
much fun.
Everybody, I'm sorry again for my lateness, and I hope you enjoyed our show today. And we'll be back with you as usual next week, and I promise I'll be on time. But have a great week and be careful out there.